a question. Why are so many men so scared of approaching women nowadays?
The way I think about it is either I'm ugly, which is why guys don't talk to me, or I'm like too attractive that they're intimidated, which is why they don't talk to me. And I don't think I'm ugly, so I'm gonna go with option number 2.
Why aren't you guys approaching women anymore? Like, I was at a bar and everyone is in their own groups, not approaching strangers. Like, not one guy, not even just for me, not one guy went up to a girl and just started talking to her. It was so weird. And I'm like, how am I supposed to meet people?
Just society is changing a lot, and even when we see a guy out that we think is cute, a lot of times they won't even walk up to us because they're intimidated.
And I don't know,
and like that's weird to me because I don't know. I think that's part of being a female is you want to feel like you're being chased.
I feel like guys do the chasing and girls like I'm the tequila, not the lime. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to like I'm not gonna chase. You know what I mean? Like.
You know what I want to talk about, you guys? So I live in New York, specifically Brooklyn, and I be outside, enjoying summer as I should. And I've been going to the block parties, all of that good stuff, the day parties has been a time. But the problem is the men just stare at you. They just stare at you the whole time. They don't approach you. They don't want to get to know you. They don't want to, oh, do you want to drink? It's just a staring contest the whole time. I'm trying to figure out, how am I supposed to meet my future husband if the men are not approaching? Because I'm not approaching a man. Like, it's giving the men want to be chased now. That's what it's giving, and I don't like it.
I am tired of the men that just don't go for it. They're just so scared. They think that they're gonna get rejected when it's like, bruh, like, just take a freaking chance. I am tired, sick and tired of this. Just come up to me and ask for my freaking name. Like, okay, like, you get rejected. Like, I'm sorry, like, it happens to me. But just take a chance. Guys, just take a chance. Just get some confidence. Like, just take a chance.
Women are losing their minds because men are starting to ignore them. What we're seeing on social media is the inevitable result of men finally finding their self-respect and refusing to play a rigged game that no longer benefits them. Modern women have been taught to play the tired old "I'm a strong and independent woman" card and essentially try to fool everybody into believing that she doesn't need a man in her life. But this lie is exposed when men finally start to ignore her. Because as we're seeing on social media, modern women never expected men to ignore them and they simply can't handle it. The rise of this trend where men are withdrawing their attention, provision, and affection from women is reflected in a few changes that we can observe in our society. The MGTOW philosophy and the Red Pill movement exploded onto the scene and spread through the culture like wildfire. These teachings presented men with a revolutionary new paradigm with which to approach modern dating. A paradigm where men didn't have to tolerate the cheating, the gaslighting, the legal injustices, and the outright misinterest, man-hating, toxic ideology of feminism anymore. In a society that has actively been trying to weaken men and still is, men walking away from everything and reclaiming their power is on the rise. Before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to rkenton48 who said, "The grass is always greener over the septic tank." Now that's some bars you just dropped. I've never heard that line before, so thank you for sharing. Please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that I just really liked, so don't forget to leave a comment and you could be the next winner. Make sure to hit the like and sub buttons too, as it helps out the channel a ton. Now, let's get back to the video. Studies are showing that there's an increasing ideology gap between young men and women. Young women are becoming more liberal and thus more woke and feminist. Young men are becoming increasingly more conservative and traditional. This is because liberalism has not only offered men nothing of value to aspire to, it has actively sought to destroy traditional masculinity and turn men into weak simps who couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Yes, I'm thinking of Destiny here. He's a perfect example of what a man becomes when he embraces feminist ideology. The exact kind of feminist ideology that has changed the dating market. Just look at this feminist comedian who reflects her entire ideology by refusing to take accountability.
I feel like the men's interpretation of feminism now is just never helping us with anything. That's a feminist now. Like the number of times the tiniest woman helps me with my luggage on the plane, it's always the tiniest woman, like a woman like you, who's like, oh, I'm gonna join in and help her. And then we're both struggling, and we're both like, and you're like trying to get it up, like, no, you've got it, okay, you've got that side, you've got, and then a strong man's like, they've got it. I'm a feminist, don't wanna offend them.
This has nothing to do with how men have misinterpreted feminism. Feminism shoved men away and asserted that they were strong and independent women who didn't need a man. These were literally the words that feminists used, so men walked away and now women are ridiculing men for it. In this society, men cannot win. It's a rigged game. Another sign we're seeing that men are walking away from women in society and playing their own game is that men are refusing to get married. More men than at any other point in recorded history are refusing to get married to women. Once you've taken the red pill and seen marriage as the rigged woman-worshipping shit show it is today, there's no going back. As the MGTOW philosophy spreads through the culture, more men will begin to wake up and realize that marriage is a surefire way to live a miserable existence. Not because marriage by itself is toxic, but because modern feminism and this woke society has turned it into a weapon to wield against men. Taking half of his assets and his children away is akin to killing a man, but this society deems it worthy punishment for supposedly being an abusive husband, which is an overused term that woke, modern women use to destroy the reputation of their husbands.
Recently realized, like just now, that dating somebody isn't just two pretty people frolicking in a field and looking at each other funny. Like I actually have to go near them. I have to pay for dates, and I'm broke, guys. My bank account is negative $44.50. Before anybody says, well, maybe you're aromantic, maybe you're asexual, I have heard it all before. I am not aromantic, I am not asexual, I am just atrocious. I just found out that I get the ick so easily, and I think the biggest way that I get the ick is if you're into me, because then I'm like, how low are you willing to go if you choose me? It's a real vicious cycle that just concludes and begins with low self-esteem. So then I cut myself off from relationship opportunities. I give it a couple weeks, and then I'm like, what was that? What was that freak out? Let's get back in the game, because I think I can do it this time, and I never can. I don't even think that I can afford to be romantic, and if I ask my parents for money and tell them it's to support my Bumble lifestyle, they will lock me in my room with nothing but a dog bowl of holy water and VHS tapes of nuns.
As much as I slightly enjoy this woman's self-depreciating humor, her desperation is seeping through the cracks. This is what modern women are. Broken, emotionally damaged, and unable to pair bond without needing years of therapy. The truth is that modern women simply are not dateable, let alone marryable. Your average strong and independent modern woman is actually a bitter, resentful, argumentative, and mean-spirited human being. A woman like this would be a terrible mother and an even worse wife. All things considered, why should men cave to the pressure of the gynocracy and be forced to marry women who make absolutely no effort to be a good person? Women who put no effort into being an attractive and enjoyable partner for their husbands. Women who even actively hate men. No man in their right mind would marry a woman like this. But for some reason, in this society, we expect men to suffer needlessly while women reap the benefits. Well, I'm sorry, but men have been beaten over the head with the anti-male message for far too long. We refuse to be lapdogs to the feminists. We would rather be single and abstain from sexual intimacy than become simp slaves to modern feminist women who just want a man to control. But the reasons men started walking away didn't arise quickly. This society has been slowly pushing men away and disrespecting them for decades. The Me Too movement declared loud and clear that approaching a woman is absolutely not okay under any circumstances. What happened here is a vocal group of women, probably lesbians or fat woke women who no men were approaching anyway, who absolutely despised men, created an entire movement that changed the dating market forever. And the women who enjoyed being approached had to suffer for it. And I'm sorry ladies, but in the same way that feminism places the responsibility on good men to deal with the bad men, women have a responsibility to speak up when feminism goes too far. But that's not what happened. This toxic movement received practically no opposition from women, and it was allowed to run rampant and convince a society that almost every man is a creepy potential rapist in waiting. What do you think's going to happen to a society when you convince all of the men that they are potential rapists and shouldn't be anywhere near women? The thing that amazes me the most about all of this is that these people frame men walking away as some unexplainable, anomalous behavior without a reason for it. This just shows the level of empathy the society has for the average man. If this society actually wanted to understand men instead of just attacking them, they would realize that men walking away is an inevitable consequence of what the society has been doing to them for the past 3 decades. Men naturally gravitate to the places, people, and roles where they feel powerful. And if you make this entire society a place where masculine power is demonized, you don't give men anywhere to go. That's why men withdraw from society and refuse to date modern women. And this isn't even talking about the brutal rejections that men face and have been facing now for a long time. This is something that women will never understand.
Do you shoot your shot at men?
No. Well, shooting my shot is very subtle. I might look at you, and then I might look away, and
you hit him with the eyes move?
That's it. The guy is going to feel it. Either he's going to be interested or he's not going to be interested and he's not going to come. But you got to be open. Like, show that, yo, I'm open. It's okay to come and talk to me. You don't got to go and walk to him and be like, yo, I find you cute. Like, no.
You know that most men are scared to approach women.
Yeah, but if I look at you and I'm smiling, I'm letting you know it's okay to come. I'm not going to bite you.
I love how this woman is scared of rejection, but her whole BS about her being open is pure cap. How can you possibly expect men to approach women and engage in the game of modern dating when a rejection has become so utterly brutal that it can destroy a man's reputation with a single social media post? Even women in their most honest moments will admit that females can be unbelievably vicious. As a man, if you approach a woman today, it's a very real risk. Not just to your psychological or emotional comfort, but to your livelihood and even your career prospects. If you approach the wrong woman and she accuses you of sexual harassment, especially with a smartphone-holding crowd watching, this could spread through the internet and next thing you know, you've been fired from your job. Nobody wants to hire someone accused of sexual harassment regardless of the evidence or lack of it. Just an accusation is enough to completely ruin a man's life. I wish the society would stop expecting men to approach and start asking why men aren't approaching. This would answer the question in a heartbeat. You can't expect to call an entire gender a group of toxic sex pests and predators and then wonder why they don't approach women anymore. The fact that men are walking away proves they aren't the kind of men feminism paints them as. The biggest mistake that women made is that by accusing men of being sexual predators, they drove all the good men away. That's because a self-respecting man who isn't a simp will not tolerate being openly disrespected. He'll walk away, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, let's talk about how modern women react when a man walks away and ignores them. These reactions are all over social media, and they are not only entertaining, but they're even educational.
I just made the first move, and I gave my number to someone in the tube.
Basically what happened, I was on a platform waiting for my tube, and there was this guy next to me. He looked at me, he smiled, I looked at him and I smiled back. Then the tube came and we both went in, but we both went into different carriages. So between us there is like a door and little window, but there is no way, like physical way, to actually speak to him. I saw through the little window that he kept looking at me, smiling to me, and I was there like, do something, what can you do, I pulled out my phone and I wrote a message on my phone. Actually, let me show you, it's hard to explain. I put this on a window. He looked at me, he smiled, and he was like, yep. Then he came closer to the window and he pulled out his phone and I put this on a window. And he wrote it down, he showed it to me, I said, yep, good to go, and he left. As soon as he left and the tube moved, me sitting in a tube, I realized I panicked so much, so I actually gave him the wrong number. I fucked up my own number. I'm usually too scared to do anything like this. Like, I was actually shaking. And I did it. And I gave him the wrong number. Anyways, if you or your friend knows anyone who took tube this morning, Northern Line, from Clapham, let me know. Maybe we'll find him.
When a man walks away from a woman and ignores it, it instantly raises his status and value in her eyes. Admittedly, this doesn't really matter because why would you even care about how you appear to a modern woman? But the fact is, modern women are like children. They want what they cannot have. And if you make yourself unavailable, suddenly it screws with her mind because most modern women have never been told no. They've been sugar-coated and treated like precious princesses since they were little girls. They've been given everything in return for absolutely nothing. This is why modern women don't respect simps. It's just another case of them getting what they want. But when they meet a man who refuses to give her the validation and unconditional attention that she's always had, it drives her insane. Men who ignore modern women demonstrate that they can't be controlled. This instantly raises his value not only to her, but to all of society. It shows that he's a man of moral character and principles. It shows that he is not a man who will simply do everything she asks him to. And women cannot stand it when they can't control a man. What we're seeing in society is women freaking out because men are walking away and refusing to date them. We're seeing women become salty and bitter. We're seeing women acting in bizarre ways. We're even seeing signs of desperation. That's right, women are becoming desperate for men to approach them again. That is something the feminists could have never predicted.
You ever been out with friends and realized that you were the only one not getting hit on? And then immediately thinking it's because you exist in a bigger body? It's horrible because you know that like male attention isn't the end all be all, but at the same time it still hurts. I'm curvy, I'm bigger than most of my friends, so my first instinct is like, oh, they don't want a bigger girl. This past summer I was at a hostel and I saw these guys. I went to introduce myself and I was standing next to this girl that was just like complete Victoria's Secret, like the old Victoria's Secret supermodel vibes. And I was like, hi, I'm Juliana. And while he was shaking my hand, he was literally looking at her being like, nice to meet you. And you guys, I got so mad. After that, he didn't talk to me again, and I got so mad. I left the bar and I wrote like slam poetry on my phone because it was so many years of like pent up anger and frustration that I feel like I didn't even get the chance to introduce myself. I didn't even get the chance to like meet them and let them get to know me. I felt like I was cast aside, and I felt like I didn't have any inherent value to men because I wasn't skinny, which is horrible. Any of my other curvy mid-sized people that want to vent or tell me what you think about this, let me know. I'd love to know if I'm not alone in this.
This woman has been polluted by feminism to such a degree that she's disconnected from reality. She's naturally fairly attractive. She'd have no problem finding a simp if she lost weight, but she refuses because feminism tells women that they don't exist for the male gaze and they shouldn't have to change in any way. Modern women like this say, I shouldn't have to change in any way for a man, but then she'll say, I want a man, without noticing the contradiction. Pair that with this strange alliance between feminism and the fat positivity movement, and you've got massively overweight women.
I'm so sick of being told that I should be happy single. I don't want to be. I want to be in love. I want to be sickening to everyone around us. I want to adore them, and I want them to adore me. I want to find my person. I want to love them, and I want them to love me. I have so much of myself to pour into someone, and right now I feel empty. It shouldn't be this hard to find love, but all I find myself doing is scrolling through stupid dating apps, finding stupid men who just want sex, and I'm so sick of it. Why is it so hard to find love?
I can't believe this woman is asking, why is it so hard to find love? I'll tell you why. Because you've essentially convinced an entire gender that they shouldn't come anywhere near you, and now you decide to play the victim. I can't believe what I'm hearing from some of these modern women sometimes. She isn't asking why it's so hard to find love. She's asking why the chads aren't paying attention to her in exactly the way that she wants. Don't be fooled by the tears. It's all a manipulation tactic. This is only just the beginning. As the philosophy continues to make its way through society, more men are going to start waking up and realize that when you consider all of the factors that go into the dating market today and how destructive it is, the most powerful option available to men is to simply walk away. And when more men start to do this, you can expect women to react in a number of ways. What we are going to experience is a lot of drama, tons of gaslighting, and a complete social media circus. Make sure when you walk away, you take enough popcorn with you because it's going to be entertaining to watch. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.